focused on one area only, that is always going to cause issues. But if you realize that there is a potential out there that is always available, is flow on tap, that is available for you constantly. But the fact that you yourself is blocking that tap, and you're always able to go into that and come back again and not stay on there, because it's not a state to be there all the time. It is a state to be there when you want to be there, refresh, come back, and then you've got a fresh view. It is a play of form, a play of energy, which is crucial for every human to have reach that level. And they already know it's part of their DNA. It's already within them. They can come through and they can go back in and play the game again.
So basically what you're saying is to climb the golden chain, climb the stairway to heaven, reach nirvana,
come back.
Bring back the fire in a Promethean style, because if you leave, then you're gone, you're not physical anymore. And if you just stay here, you're as low as the worms and you're not really doing much of anything. So it's the journey is a part of ascending and descending or inverse, descend. You know, if you have a more of an underworld view on the universe, go descend, dig up the knowledge, dig up the gems, and bring them back up.
Yeah. Because I want to bring Steve Jobs into this, because he went through the journey. He went through the journey and came back. And he came back and he brought something back to humanity. And that's the key here. It's easy to say I reached and I already been there. It's more, what can you bring back to humanity? What can you bring back that will help others reach that state as well? Because it's a play in form which we can only explain through words.
Yeah, well, you mentioned, Steve Jobs. I mean, we could probably say the same thing about some people see him as his arch nemesis, Bill Gates. I think to my extent, he's gone beyond as well, and it's come back and has actually brought stuff to humanity. I guess after he's left Microsoft, where he's got his wife's Melinda, I think it is, Melinda Gates Foundation, where they've he's given away, I guess, 2/3 of his wealth, if we as we're led to believe. Like pretty much what you said with Steve Jobs, is that he's been to that state and he's brought back something to humanity. I guess we could probably say something similar about Bill Gates.
Yeah, a lot of the people in Silicon Valley these days, they have experimented this and they know this. They've tried it, and there's different avenues of reaching this state. It is not. It could be discipline. It could be through discipline, or it could be through substance. It could be through any ways of form. But it's the underlying factor is the skill that you bring in, the application you bring in back to the humanity, because it's something you would do on a day-to-day basis, and that will bring you back to that state, and it will keep bringing you back to that state.
We need to understand here that there is a very fine difference between technology application and the play of intelligences on different levels, which has something to do with abstraction. Technology and application is not new to humanity. If you look back, and the oldest civilizations, the applications and technologies they were using, I think I was talking to Ian about it, that the pyramids, they were doing certain research that what if they try to replicate pyramids today? They are saying that we are not capable of doing it in maybe 100 years, because even with the current resources available in technology and applications, we cannot replicate it. I mean, Ian can put it more light on it. But what I'm trying to say here is the intelligence for an external application is a subject of discipline or exercise driven by certain requirements or necessity. Abstraction which covers everything. External intelligence is just a bit of it. For example, you are not having access to your breathing system. You cannot influence it. Okay? It is running on its own intelligences. Your digestion, your metabolism, it's working on its own. Every second, whatever you are eating, it is being transformed into blood, bone marrow, skin, and all those cellular structure in your body. What intelligence is actually doing it for you? Are you having access to that? But your body is actually structured in a certain gravitation, and all these different elements in your bodies, they are constantly being formed. But that intelligence is working without your awareness. So no laboratory can do that on this earth or haven't been able to. So that abstraction is something very beyond. Applications and technologies, they are something, just a tiny bit of it.
So there's 2 points I want to make. So something in relation to technology. Technology is almost the enemy of abstraction, if you really think about it. So you're talking about your example of us not being able to consciously breathe. Well, we can consciously breathe, but it happens as an unconscious process. But then you also made the statement that we can't replicate that. We actually can. We have a machine that can breathe for you if you needed to. What we can't replicate is the exact same step-by-step process that the biological process is. So there's an inherent underlying assumption that the intelligence that's been through the universe for however long, call it the force or whatever you want to call it, that is inherently the right way. And if we try and do it in any other way, we're actually fighting against intelligence and abstraction. If that's the case, then actually people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, they're actually the enemy of absolute perception because they are reducing it.
I would clarify my point that it has nothing to do with fight. It has nothing to do with the comparison. What all I'm referring to is that, your awareness that it exists. All what is happening in terms of application technology, it's all good. But at the same time, all these intelligences, they are actually transitioning, floating around. We are getting a bit of it, and we are developing our applications from, look at the cars. We copied our eyes. Okay, let's put 2 lights because our eyes are like this. Let's have gears. Let's have mobile, how it works. It works the way, okay, we are conscious. We have our sensory perceptions. Okay, let's replicate things in a way. We are learning from the existing intelligences only. All the applications which you see around, whether in medical field or in transportation, it is a copy of existing intelligences.
Aren't 2 lights because there's 2 sides to the car?
Come again.
Aren't there 2 lights because there's 2 sides to the car?
That is definitely a right notion or right reason. But at the same time, we cannot, it's not about denying at all, because whatever we have been evolving into, we have been observing it first.
That's a good point, because I want to touch briefly on this. So the ideas and technologies that we have at the moment, what is there to say that these haven't been recycled from the past?
Well, they all have to stem from an existing idea that gets built upon. You stand on the shoulders of giants. So we don't spontaneously come up with iPhones. It was a development, and it was literally, someone actually was Bell who created the first telephone. So you got the first telephone, which is literally some old school copper wires and blah blah. Now we've got lithium batteries in a computer that we call a telephone, like a mobile phone. So it's always this constant evolution. When it comes to say like a car's headlights, you can say its application design is a reflection of the way we perceive the world. So oddly enough, yes, there's left and right side of a car, but why don't we put the third one in the middle? We could have 3 headlights in a car. We could have any. Like, there's no limitation, but we kind of feel comfortable with 2. There's a sort of parallel relationship that we want to see things which actually reflect us back in the mirror. There's no reason why we can't always try to achieve, grafting extra limbs to our bodies. But we are designed, our brains are designed really to have the limbs that we have.
Let's so to continue on my point in regards to fighting the intelligences, at some point there'll probably be technology that can enable us to never need to breathe again or never need to eat again, and completely cutting out that process from our inherent need to survive. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Are we giving up knowledge in some ways by removing that intelligent force? But perhaps the intelligent force was wrong to begin with. Why make the requirement to breathe? Why make the requirement to sleep? Why make the requirement to eat? What makes this intelligence so intelligent that it places these requirements and restrictions on us? Why can't we fly? Why can't we have 4 arms? Why can't we light 3 lights on a car? It's just this underlying assumption that the intelligence knows what it's doing. And we've already spoken about this a little bit in our first episode about the twins with different personalities but same DNA. Watch it again, guys. But is the intelligence intelligent? Or are we just calling it intelligent because we don't understand it?
I think it was Freud, and the way in psychology, the way it's treated, the intelligent is as blind and is libido, right? It's treated as blind lust. That's the thing where I think we need to make the distinction, because are we clearly saying that intelligence don't know what it's doing, or are we saying it knows what it's doing and it's playing a game in itself?
I take it a bit, I just take it to in other perspective. So touching the point of abstraction, for example, you're meeting somebody and he's very angry on you. Okay? It can be a friend, colleague, or family member, or even a stranger on the road. And he's abusing you now. And your impression you get is just stupid. And you feel like being kind of nervous and angry also that why he's abusing me or why she's abusing me, right? However, you do not know what caused him to reach to that state. Possibly, he has been suffering from anxiety and nervousness and not able to deal with himself or herself for the months. The depression or stress are different reasons in the workplace where she has been or he has been being kind of, dominated or cornered. And that tiny bit over the period of days turned his mental state or her mental state into this position that he or she just exploded for a simple thing. And for you from that level of abstraction, you will possibly label it, he or she is stupid. He doesn't know. He's not having common sense or something. But we are not seeing those transitioning into his or her personality, what turned him or her into, because your reply in that instance saying him or her to be a stupid is not going to help him or her. It is going to deteriorate the situation because you are just adding one more bit in the ocean what she or he has been accumulating. And we are dealing with that abstraction.
Okay, but what does it have to do with technology?
Well, it's interesting. Actually, the connection to this, it's actually quite a thing about, there's a connection here. If we get the idea of we find tech which removes the need for us to eat, sleep, breathe air, right? Now, that would have to be us assuming that we know all there is to know about eating, sleeping, and breathing, and that by removing it, we should be good as gold. Like, by getting rid of these things, humans are so much better. That's what the arrogance of saying that we know all the reasons for them in the first place. And that's where the intelligence or the evolution or the journey that's led us to our current form before we go to potentially another form, as much as it could be purely dumb luck that we've evolved, but it works. And it's easier for us to go, but hey, it's probably thick, it's probably the intelligence, there is no intelligence, it's just total randomness. So we can throw in our randomness, it will just negate world hunger by stopping everyone from eating. And all of a sudden but we don't know what the consequences of that are. Because we don't have absolute perception. We can't see forward in time. We can't see back far enough to know why we even started like this in the first place. So we have got this mirage that we're living in right now, this illusion, and we think, I think we've got all the boxes ticked. You probably haven't.
Because there's always that fun fact, there's a mirage, there's illusion, but yet you want to make it real, you want to make it serious. That attitude is much more arrogant, more fun, rather than knowing the other way around, saying, oh, this is serious, but it may not be serious. That switch is better.
Whatever you're dealing with, it is all relative data around you. For example, you're saying, oh, it's a good friend. But that is also a relative data till something ugly turns up and you part your ways. So whatever you're dealing with in your work, in your profile, in your professional career, in your health, it's all based on relativity. And what Suranga is saying that, okay, it's all happening, we are making decisions, this and that. We are actually not making decisions. We are just selecting choices.
That's still a decision.
Well, it's a decision, though.
We are not actually, in a way, definitely, but we are not putting the stakes. We are not defining the whole game. We are just playing a tiny bit here, and we are thinking we are making decisions, definitely on a level. That is also a degree of abstraction, representing, okay, you take this 0.000000000 100 times or maybe 5,000 times, and that's it. You got to do decisions.
Yeah, but then I guess this is where Saranga is coming from. what gives us the right to say that we should control the game? And this is what Spiro is saying.
Who's to say we are controlling the game even if we do that? If we replace every function, who's to say that if we free up one area, we will have a new area? So if we get technology to replace how we breathe, how we pump blood to our body, who's to say that